All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating financial trend. It's a story about how Gen Z, staring down some pretty intense economic pressures, is basically rewriting the entire rulebook for financial freedom. And it all kicks off with a question you've probably asked yourself a million times. You know, that daily coffee, that little snacky grab, is that just a financial leak, a failure of discipline, or could it be something much, much smarter? So at first glance, yeah, the numbers look kind of bad. For nearly 60% of Gen Z, this seemingly innocent habit of buying a small treat is a direct cause of overspending. So case closed, right? Well, hang on, it's not that simple. The story is way more complicated than that. Okay, so to really get what's happening here, we need to dig into what I'm calling the $5 contradiction. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this. On one side, you have a third of this generation feeling super high levels of financial stress. But on the other side, over half of them are consistently buying these little treats. So what gives? How can both of these things be true at the same time? Well, it's because they are anything but passive about their money. I mean, look at this. When that financial stress kicks in, the overwhelming majority, we're talking nearly 90%, they actually do something. They're checking their bank accounts, they're making budgets. This is a generation that is deeply, deeply engaged with their finances, which honestly makes that daily treat thing even more fascinating. And this is the key. We have to completely reframe what that $5 purchase is. It's not just a coffee. Our source material calls it the expense of emotional regulation, and that's a perfect name for it. It's a tool, a way to manage the absolutely crushing weight of economic anxiety. It's basically a calculated cost for your own mental well-being. So, to really appreciate how smart this new approach is, we first have to look at the old way of thinking they're rejecting. Let's talk about the movement that used to be the only game in town, FIRE. Yeah, the traditional FIRE playbook, financial independence, retire early, it was all about going to the extreme. It demanded you save like over half your income, which, let's be real, it's not possible for so many young people today who are juggling insane rent, student loans, and wages that just aren't keeping up. So you can really see the difference in philosophy right here. The old FIRE path, it was all about deprivation now so you could get an early exit from the workforce later. This new path is completely different. It's about consistency, not extremes. It's about finding a sustainable pace, not a desperate sprint. And it's about having agency, control, inside your life, not just trying to escape it. Okay, so what does this look like as an actual practical strategy? Let's break down the new playbook, sustainable independent. Really, at its heart, sustainable independence is just a super pragmatic middle ground. It's a system that actually admits you're a human being. It makes room for those small, emotionally necessary purchases. Yep, that coffee, while still being totally committed to disciplined, methodical, long-term growth. And I absolutely love this quote from our source material. It just nails the mindset perfectly. It's a strategy of playing chess, not checkers. Think about it. Checkers is all quick, reactive moves. But chess? Chess is about seeing the entire board, planning several moves ahead, and valuing every single piece, no matter how small it seems. It's all about long-term strategy, not just short-term sacrifice. So how do you actually do this? How does the playbook work in the real world? Well, it all boils down to two incredibly powerful pillars: radical financial transparency and an almost obsessive focus on consistency. Okay, let's tackle that first pillar because this is a huge cultural shift. Get this. 2/3 of Gen Z say they don't feel pressured by their friends to spend money they don't have. And almost half of them are totally comfortable just saying, hey, you know what? I can't afford that right now. This kind of openness just completely dismantles the social pressure that sinks so many financial plans. And that second pillar, consistency, oh man, this is where the real magic happens. Instead of chasing some high-risk, get-rich-quick gamble, the focus is on the slow, steady, unstoppable force of compounding interest. By starting early, even with small, steady investments, and making it a priority to stay out of debt, they're playing the long game. And the best part, they're starting that clock in their 20s. So, what's the point of all this? What's the end game? What is the prize after this long, strategic game of financial chess? Because the finish line has totally moved. The dream isn't about escaping work anymore. not after years of grinding and depriving yourself. No, it's about building resilience. It's about creating a financial foundation that's strong enough to give you agency, the freedom to choose a job you actually love, to walk away from one you hate, to take a calculated risk, or to just, have some breathing room in your life. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. In the economy we live in today, what does financial freedom really mean to you? Is the ultimate goal to just escape work entirely? Or is it to build a life that's so fulfilling, so aligned with who you are, that you don't even feel the need to escape from it in the first place?